There will come a time when holding your phone at arm's length to film yourself won't work for the kind of shots that you want to get. What if you want to demonstrate something with your hands? What if you want to show something that you're talking about? Because the nice thing about phones, they're so light that you can pick up a tripod for about 16 bucks at your local big box mart. And this is what you get. As you can see, it's very small, very lightweight. It comes with this little phone holder that's screwed to a quick release plate, which really easily pops on and off quickly, hence the name quick release plate. Then you extend the legs, open them up, raise the center column as well, get that a little bit higher, then clamp the phone in this little clamp, being careful not to hit any power or volume buttons. Happens all the time. And then you can record with your phone and use your hands to demonstrate things. Take off your glasses and gesture. Of course, this is very close because this is the frame I have to deal with at the moment. But I could have this set 20 feet away and be demonstrating a garden plot behind me, or my data collection area out at a field research site, that kind of thing. So this comes in really handy. It's very small and very lightweight, and while that's easier to carry around, it's also not great for holding heavy things, or even light things in a high wind. I've had this actually blow over, and the phone that it was holding hit the rocks that the stand was on. So it's not an ideal or perfect solution. It is, however, extremely cheap. And if you upgrade to a larger camera later, you can always use this as a light stand. It doesn't go very high, but it's better than nothing. So even though I have a larger camera and a larger stand, which I'll show you in a minute, I still use this one a lot. But let's look at the larger tripod that I actually use with this larger camera while I'm out on the road. As you can see, it's not really that much larger. It's actually much more robust than the big box smart one. Much stronger, can hold a lot more weight, although it also has its limits. So let me show you how this one works. So the legs fold down, and there's these locking mechanisms here. And just like the other one, the legs extend. There's more sections that allow this to fold up into a smaller package while being much stronger than the other one. But you'll also see that it's not really any taller. This also has a quick release plate, different kind. This is called an Arca plate. Got this little thing there, which I've put on the bottom of the camera. Slides into the base, and then you screw it down real quick. And now I have added this tripod head that has a handle that's more useful for video production, because this tripod is designed for both video and photo production, and as it comes, it's more designed for photos. Now, the trade-off for the portability of this thing is that it's just not tall enough, really, to handle filming standing subjects or trying to get up and over a crowd or that kind of thing. So it has its limitations. But for what it is, just using in a studio like this, or as a very lightweight alternative to hand holding it, at least some of the time when you're in the field, really comes in handy. Saves your back a lot, especially when you're using a heavier camera like this. Instead of, having to hold this all day like that, you can put it down every once in a while, give yourself a rest. And that alone really is worth the price of admission for one of these things. So I do have a larger version, which I've used quite a bit, and I like it quite a bit. It's considerably taller than the one I showed you earlier. As you can see, you can get above eye level with it, which I really appreciate. It's why I've used it so much. But I've also run into issues with it. These joints right here, if you travel with it, not in a hard case of some kind, they are a weak spot. So if it gets impacted, these things can start pulling out. And I actually had to repair a few legs. So you have to be careful with them, but they're cheap and they're tall and they're not that much bigger than the smaller ones. I can fit this inside my backpack or inside the hard case that I travel with. So I still like them, but you got to be careful with them. Now there's a handheld gimbal that I like, and by gimbal I mean a device that has motors in it that kind of keeps the phone stable for you, even though you're holding it by hand. So it's incredibly portable. The thing folds up, and you can actually stick this in your pocket if you have large pockets, and it unfolds, and then using your phone, and this little universal clip just kind of clips over the back of the phone, gives you a magnetic mount. I have a magnetic mount since this case is a MagSafe case. It magnetically clips to the gimbal and kind of line up the little key in the back there till it clicks into place. Then when you turn it on, it's looking kind of goofy now. When you turn it on, it automatically moves the phone into position. Defaults to the upright position, double tap one of the control buttons, and now you have this handheld device that holds the phone very stable, almost no matter how you move it. You can direct it with the motion of your hand, but it smooths all the motions out, so it's very slow, even, and smooth. That's what it's for. One of the reasons I like this one in particular is because it also serves as kind of a selfie stick, so you can hold it out further from yourself when you are the one doing the speaking. It also comes with a tabletop, little stand, so you can set it down and use it as an interview camera without having to hold it. It's pretty handy. It's not that expensive for what it is. Very portable. What it doesn't do is hold it up high enough like one of the other tripods. You would have to set it on a stool or something else to get it high enough to film somebody sitting or standing. So you need a desk or something to put it on. The stabilization also isn't perfect. I mean, you do have to hold it kind of steady. If you do this a lot, the image is stable. It's like it doesn't have that sort of seasickness effect that you might get, but the camera is still moving. So you have to still bend your knees and hold it steady the way you would do with any other camera without a stabilizer. And this one just charges up with USB-C as well, so it's about as convenient as it can be. I like them a lot. Although, being honest, many of the higher-end smartphones have good enough stabilization that you don't really need something like this. But then you don't get the selfie stick kind of thing. The downside of something like this is that it can only be used with a phone. So it's a fair amount of money to be spending for something that's not going to serve you once you upgrade to a different camera, unless you continue using a phone as part of your production. So there you have a basic look at some stabilization options at the lower end of the budget, but not at the lower end of functionality. More expensive, more professional devices, as I said, can help things move more quickly, but they're a lot more expensive and a lot larger, heavier, difficult to carry around. All this stuff that we've looked at is designed to be portable, lightweight, and inexpensive. But that does come with, as I said, the need to be very careful with it. Travel with it in the padded bags that they come with. If you're going to throw them in luggage on an airplane, make sure they're in a hard case or inside something that's going to prevent them from being impacted directly. That can weaken the legs, the joints in the legs, that kind of thing. So when you need the camera to stand still all on its own, filming by yourself, or you've got a second camera that you want to have while you're using something else handheld, give it a try. Have a look at some of these inexpensive options, pick one, and go. I guarantee you the quality of your footage will increase.